And so he misses the eggs. And so we call that inadequate coital exposure or inadequate sexual exposure. That's a social cause of infertility. So in all these scenarios that I've mentioned, you have the couple not being able to achieve a pregnancy for up to a year or even more than a year of cohabiting together. So these are some of the causes of infertility in broad term.
Okay, doctor, we'll take a breather here. When we return, we'll take up from where we stop. Join us again.
Kuka, that's the name in Hausa.
That is call it Oshe.
In Yoruba.
Oshe, Igi Oshe.
Okay, so I know it's Kuka.
I am delighted to have you join us on Health Options, the program that not only tracks government policies on health.
The total cholesterol is made up of some components. The high density lipoprotein, which is the good cholesterol, the low density hypoprotein, which is the bad.
Cervical cancer, a type of cancer that develops in a woman's cervix.
There were opportunities for women to get screened for both cervical and breast cancer, maybe up to 30,000, but we'll be having figures of 5,000.
Just joined us, you are watching Health Options on the NTA, and we have been talking about reproductive health with Dr. John Ikwani. Many thanks for being there, doctor.
Thank you very much for having me once again.
Okay, now let's get on to talk about access to medication, especially diagnostics for reproductive health now in Nigeria generally. What do you have to say about that? Do people have enough access? A lot of people will be having issue of fertility, but of course, as the Nigerians that we are, who say we are waiting for the right time. What is your opinion about that?
Now, one of the things I must say about our environment is that medications for fertility are usually not gotten over the counter without a doctor's prescription. Normal people these days, because of the desire to have pregnancy, and not just to have pregnancy, but to have multiple pregnancies, that is twins and above, they go over the counter without a doctor's prescription, and they take these drugs above recommended dosages just because of a desire to have multiple pregnancies. In other climes, this is punishable by certain jail terms. In our environment, that's where prescriptions and the dispense of medications are not well regulated, you may find such things happening. But I know that the agencies are working towards tightening the grip on some of these processes so that processes and drug dispensary are something that should be able to pass through the prescription of a doctor and passes through recognized and certified pharmaceutical companies. So, for a person to be able to gain access to drugs that will assist that person in getting pregnant, the person needs to go to a certified hospital, a registered hospital, and see a certified and well-trained gynecologist to be able to assess and carry out basic investigations and tests to be able to know the right approach to follow in addressing that reproductive health problem. Certain of them may not necessarily need drugs. For example, the one I just gave about the couple that are living apart and meet once in a month. We don't need drugs for that. What we need is to expose them adequately to sexual exposure. And that will mean either one of them relocating to join the other person so that they live properly in their home. And by living properly in their home, having regular coital exposure, they may be able to get pregnant without having the use of drugs. But there are others that after adequate coital exposure and relevant tests have been conducted, you may be able to find problems that may lead to the prescription of drugs. And I'll give an example. If a woman has done certain tests, such as tubal patency tests, an example